Today is Clear Day, the first week of Aft Montine 1849 AC, aka T-minus 336 days. The party decides to accompany the House of Sin's scout party to investigate the undead horde. Whilst in range, the skeletal archers fire their longbows at the party, but undeterred, they press on. During the ensuing battle, a creature clad in a grey cloak teleports outside of the safe zone and attempts to kill Mike. Valiantly, Air rescues Mike, and they both manage to make it into the safety of Chad's pad. But the undead horse carries on harassing the party as they recover. That's what I'm done with. Ready to roll over and die. So we're going to re-enter the episode at 7 hours, 59 minutes, and 48 seconds left of Chad's pad to go.
Was that literally 12 seconds short of being able to do a long rest?
Indeed.
Damn it.
Because it is specifically 8 hours, I believe, Chad's pad goes for. Correct me if I am indeed wrong.
I think you're right.
It is 8 hours.
Can you switch it off and then switch it back on straight away?
You could flicker it. You could flicker it on and off as long as he's got the Chad pad spell slot.
I've got
available.
one spell slot left, and I can turn it on and off again whenever I want.
Yep.
Let's hatch a plan.
We've got 12 seconds.
Well,
10 seconds.
If
we could all use a sleep. We should do it.
If we hatch a plan first, and then you switch it off, switch it back on, it just resets to 8 hours, right?
It does, but we're very quickly running out of seconds.
Okay.
It is now 7 hours, 59 minutes,
What's the plan?
and 42 seconds.
Who doesn't want to sleep?
I don't need to sleep.
I need to sleep. I need to sleep.
Sort of died a little bit. We need.
I've got 30
I say we
points
just
left.
risk it for those 12 seconds.
And just see what's out there?
What's
Yeah.
the worst that could
Well,
happen?
we know what's out there.
we can see what's out there.
You
I
absolutely
can
They
fly
might
can
get
some-
see.
bored after 7 hours.
I can
He's
fly
still awake.
somebody and put somebody else on a disc behind me, so I can get 2 people out of here.
But what I'm saying is we can spend longer talking, working out the plan, switch this off, switch on, do an 8-hour rest, and then crack on, knowing what the plan is as soon as that. Because otherwise we're going to flicker, do a long rest, and it's just going to run out straight away, and then we've got no plan, and we're going to...
Yeah, but what are
In the
the
middle of
chances that we're
the-
actually going to be able to get it back up before Tim...
I don't know. You tell me. What's the
Bicycle
chances of you getting back up straight away?
You have
Very
7
good.
hours, 59 minutes, and 36 seconds to go.
What if I sleep?
Um,
you guys come up
I
with
could use a long rest, but
We could just short rest our hit points up and then try and get back. But we've seen that like one round can knock one or more of us out, which is quite dramatic.
So, it's you're 30 seconds into Chad's pad at this point.
Oh,
And the creature that's stalking you outside can't see inside. And it just remains stationary for the last 20 to 30 seconds after tailing Mike and Aya back into Chad's pad. He runs the staff over the exterior of Chad's pad. You can see from the inside like the flickering magical energy as the staff contacts the field. It seems to be satisfied that it can't penetrate the dome, and turns and starts stalking back up the tundra towards the line of the dwarves after the retreating scouting party. Yes? who
Someone
would like
should
to?
message Deep Chest.
What do you
about
like?
deep chest?
Someone should message Deep Chest or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Send your
well, I
bombs,
can.
bring deep chest
Well,
in.
I can message deep chest. Can I? So I can do message at will to a range of
Who's
120
will?
feet.
I was just
Who will? Wow.
Got a direct line to
Oh,
Will.
Yeah, is deep chest within 120 feet?
No, she is about 600 feet away.
600.
Yes.
Seems excessive.
Why do we do this?
I'm still asking that. Okay, so I can't do that, but what I can do is grease the gray figure to try to buy us some time.
Now, my question is, with Chad's pad, can you cast... I know spells can't be cast into Chad's pad, but can you cast out of Chad's pad?
Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. Fucking shit.
Across the space.
Can you enlarge Chad's pad so we can get
Yeah,
further?
of course.
But then he'll be
You don't
inside
get-
Chad's pad.
No, it would just push him out.
because he's like a vampire. He's not invited.
So I can't cast.
Just push him away a little bit.
I'd push him closer to Deep Chest on accident.
Yeah, in the line of doors.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I can't cast out and I can't message, I'm out of my spell slots. That would be my little Galder Speedy Courier. So I'm open to ideas.
Can I? Because Phantom isn't with us. Phantom is over there with them. Can I?
Yeah. What's the range of your telepathic communication with the Phantom?
600 feet.
It don't say.
Don't say.
I don't say, mate.
It doesn't say.
So whilst I'm looking this up, what does everybody else want to do? As this creature has turned his back on everybody and is going after the retreating scout party, they still have their big, like gladiatorial style, like Roman style shields up and are backing away. Like they're retreating at half speed up the, and they are occasionally firing crossbow bolts at this creature.
If we're planning on like thinking about this for a while and not immediately doing the switch, then I will spend 10 minutes summoning another ill-fated creature.
Are we planning on killing this thing?
I don't think we're going to be strong enough.
I don't think we are either. So is the plan just to get out of here as quickly as possible and let the dwarves deal with the...
Can we move and
Basically,
move
thing
at the same
that-
time?
That's the thing. If we leave Chad's pad, we'll likely die. So-
Can you
Can we move
Can
with
you-
Chad?
can you get your floating disc, enlarge it, sit Chad's pad on it, and float us away?
I don't think I can get all of Chad's pad, but I can probably get all of you guys on Chad's pad.
But they need to not
And-
see it.
Why not? We can just get out of there.
How
Did-
fast can your disc move?
I can fly at a rate of... Tim?
Oh, sorry, I was also looking up something else, but I can tell you what fly does.
No,
it's
it's fine. It's gains a flight speed of 60 feet for the
That's
duration.
correct. Yeah.
So I can fly pretty quick and put you all on the disc, and we can just zoom out of here and pretend that the last 10 minutes never happened.
The problem is, if we did that, I would have to leave Clip Clop behind. Wait, no.
Quick
Clip
Clop's
Clop.
dead.
Clip clap. I got bad news for you.
Alright.
He's not come to terms with it yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do we know Clip clap got? Well, I don't
Yeah.
want to bear
I
bad
mean,
news.
you can see
Bro.
the slightly steaming horse husk on the snowy tundra as it starts to cool down.
So descriptive.
Do we know? Has anybody seen the gray figure do a ranged attack,
Yeah,
or was it just yeah?
yeah.
Did
He,
it
he cast a spell that was at
That was
range.
a spell that you found out what it was, and it was like a really high necrotic.
That's okay.
Circle of Death. You found out.
Sounds
right.
pretty bad. So, if we're going to be here for 10 minutes, I'll summon an animal. But if not, then I'll save my spell slot. But
I don't think we have 10 minutes if we don't keep Chad's pad.
Let's. If I can get a message through to Phantom to warn Deep Chest, then they can like retreat or they can attack and they do whatever they want. But we need a plan B because I might be able to get a message to Phantom, but I don't know if Phantom can translate that.
Yeah, Phantom. The Ranger doesn't have telepathic communication, I don't believe, with its beast companion. It's a verbal thing. You have to be able to talk to it verbally. Unfortunately, I may be wrong, but I can't see anything about it. I think it's the Paladin that has telepathic communication with its mount. And maybe where we're getting things crossed.
Okay, let me just say that they've got a whole bunch of weapons. They've been fighting these things off for a while. If we re-Chad's pad up and give ourselves another 8 hours, I've got a dimension door, I've got fly, I've got Tensor's floating disc. I'm sure other people have spells that can get us out of here. If we buy ourselves 8 hours, I can get a good night's sleep and then prep to get us out of here, and they should have the weapons needed to kill this thing. Otherwise, we'll wake up in 8 hours and, that we've killed everybody on accident. But
I think everyone will be dead in 8 hours.
yeah, I think we
Everyone
could. I don't think it's a bad idea to sleep, but only if we can communicate with them first to make sure. Because I feel like this guy is new.
Yeah,
This
I
guy's
think
presence is new.
I think you should definitely conjure up an ill-fated animal because it's fun. We should try and communicate with them, and then we should, just repitch your tent, do a long rest.
Repitching the tent is definitely what I'm going to call Chad's from here on out.
Sounds...
repitch it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to tell them then that they're in danger?
Oh, my hair is really irritating me. Sorry.
So are you going to wait for the summoned mount, which will take 10 minutes as a ritual, for that to be cast? Or do you want to try and communicate with them in a different way sooner?
If there's anyone that has any other way,
I
do it. Mine will take 10 minutes.
So bearing in mind, everybody can exit Chad's pad at will. Of course, you won't benefit from the protection of Chad's pad once you're outside the exterior, but there's nothing stopping you going in and out.
So I can fly, but it's only 60 feet, so it would take me a while to get up there to be able to be within range to message them.
You could definitely go twice as fast as normal.
Tim said that they're already backing away, so I think they already know that they're in danger.
They've seen what's happened already, like what's happened to you guys, and they also don't look like they were expecting anything to come through the barrier. They were only really outfitted to deflect the arrows that were passing through the barrier. They looked like they were very much surprised, and now that's why they're in a case of retreat at the moment. But they're still trying to fire.
Do we think we caused this somehow with our
100%.
I think we know. We absolutely have caused the death of Great Chest and all her mates.
Deep Chest, not Great Chest.
Great.
That's another great name. So hold on. If we're in this protected thing and they've got a weapon that can shred Liam and shoot goats, what if we got them to give us...
Send your box, get the goat gun in there.
Well, here's the thing. I don't have any spell slots, but I do have inspiration. Tim, is there a chance that inspiration provides a spell slot?
I have inspiration too.
It provides you an advantage roll or a disadvantage to someone else's roll. However, I believe as a wizard you do have arcane recovery, so you could spend a short rest, which is only an hour, to regain spell slots. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head which spell slots you can get, but you can certainly get them back sooner than having a long rest.
The way I'm thinking about it is if we can get that shredding crossbow, we just hang out in our little bunker and just shred these icicles to death. That's my idea. Yeah. But we need to get the crossbow first.
But if we get the crossbow, then we're taking it away from deep, heavy chest. In an hour, they might be dead anyways. Heavy chest, great chest.
We can get a message to them, let alone get something from them.
Well, that's why I was saying if I could use my inspiration to get one of my things back, I'd send a box and say put crossbow in box, but I don't have that spell slot anymore.
But Tim said you can recover
short rest within an hour.
What's
spell level? If we do a short rest as well, we can get hit points back, and we can
you can spend your hit dice. And there are certain
he will
benefits
get there within an hour.
Oh yeah, I mean it will only take you a minute or more to walk up the side of this tundra, which is the direction you're going.
We can't kill this guy on our own, right?
I kind of feel like we should have got our little Voldemort guy up.
Yeah.
We just left.
Wait a minute. Is this campaign? I have an assassin.
That's not the campaign.
The other campaign.
Unfortunately, no.
Wrong campaign. God damn it.
Sun sword and an assassin.
Okay, other ideas. I'm an illusion. Why don't we send off illusion?
We can throw out a bunch of minor illusions.
You get an illusion.
I can create an illusion now.
Same.
So that's a good idea. We could send messages to this gray hooded creature and fill a bunch of illusions of. Presumably, he wants deep chests.
They're just silent now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I was going.
Just be like,
they're silent. They can't move outside of a 5-foot cube, and they have to be contained within a 5-foot cube as well.
we can message like we did last time. We can send them things, making whatever this thing thinks is hearing it.
I'm summoning
sense,
my
right?
animal just because it seems like it's already been like 5 minutes anyway.
Alternatively, I could shrink this creature.
Yeah.
Drink it. Dude, just do that.
So I'm
Does
going to
it
give you
shrink in
guys.
power?
I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt, and that it hasn't been 10 minutes of conversation, but in fact only been 1 minute of conversation.
That's fair.
So he's 30 seconds up the side of the tundra. So at this point, something happens.
Shit.
We just talk our
was-
way into things.
Yeah, all of that happened.
Again.
And everyone dies.
It has been. Well, let's find out. Let's do this fairly. Okay.
As only you know how
So he
to
has-
hit him.
It has been pelted with some arrows, and you can see the arrows are sticking into this creature.
Is it bleeding?
But it's. Why don't you roll a perception check for me, please?
Can we also see if anybody from inside the dome has come out of the dome else? If anybody else?
You're in the dome.
No, not my dome. The other
Oh,
dome.
sorry.
The shitty dome, Tim.
Yeah, you can look behind you quite easily and see that there's still the line. In fact, when you look behind you, there were arrows pelting Chad's pad like rain, but those have stopped now, and they are now just watching. But not watching the dome, they are watching the creature stalk up the side of this tundra towards Deep Chest and her cadre.
17.
17. Yeah, so at this distance, it's still relatively clear what happens. The arrows are sticking into him. One of them juts out the back. I'm about to sneeze and I'm just going to mute myself.
I wonder what he said.
One of the... the arrow sticks through like one of his shoulders and comes out the back, and there is no blood on the cloak or protected from the wound, and the arrow itself is not coated in blood either.
Fuck this.
I have an actual idea that is really dumb but might just work.
Okay.
Well, it'd be more dumb than our decision last
How
week.
far away is he from us right now?
Well, we'll come to that in a second because this happens like now.
Oh shit.
The creature holds out the staff, and
Literally murder.
And
yeah,
You wake up on a ship, half in a boulder.
There is a legendary crab.
Go back
Actually,
to that
yeah.
save point. Are there save
No, I'm
points?
just trying to figure out like which one you do. I think that's going to happen again. The same spell that you cast at you, Aya and Mike, the Circle of Death goes off as well. So, like a little bit like there's been a couple of references to the Rainbow Bridge, etc. like that. But much like the what happens when
Right.
Thor is being projected down and this big pattern appears on the snow, it gets burnt in. But instead of it being they're transporting a person, everything inside of this glyph starts screaming. You can hear it from here. And all three of the retreating dwarfs die. They start to shrivel up, or their life force gets sucked out of their skin. They turn into husks. And some of that necrotic energy, as they are turning into dwarvish raisins, some of this life force like channels back a very thin amount into this creature, and the arrow that is jutting out of its shoulder gets pushed back out and drops into the snow. Looks like it's like eaten some of the life force from these creatures. It's killed all three, and it just steps over their corpses and carries on up the hill. Sorry, Ellie, you were going to do something
Okay.
right now?
hear me out. This might be really dumb.
Keep
How
going.
far away is he from us?
In 30 seconds, he went 30 feet, so that's 6 rounds. So 6 times 3 is that many.
Yep.
So what?
Wait, did you say 6 times?
180 feet?
Oh, he might be too far.
What's your idea?
Although he would have had to stop to cast it, so 150 feet.
How far can I jump, considering I have the ring of jumping as well?
I think it triples your jump distance, and I think your jump distance is, 25 feet?
Yeah, my jump distance is 25.
So 25, 75 feet.
I've got long
What if-
strider.
Wait. What if she was twice as tall? Big.
If I
Oh, wait, what?
if I cast long strider on her as well,
Oh, long strider would definitely work.
Okay,
so
cool.
if I cast
Because I
long
think that
strider, gives you an
doubles
extra
speed,
10
doesn't
feet.
it? Oh, extra 10 feet.
Adds an extra 10 feet.
So that would be
35.
25, 35 times 3.
It's safe.
So that's 90, 105 feet.
100. Yeah.
So he's still.
And then if she's enlarged,
use that, and then use the ring thing. All of it.
105. I'm going to say if you're large, add an extra, I know what, 5 foot to it? So 40 times 3?
120.
How nice. How
I'm
nice.
still too
120?
far away.
120?
Come on, guys.
I'm still
But-
too far away.
But you could double move.
I could double move. Okay.
So, yeah.
This is
I'm
mental.
going to say if you
love
enlarged
this.
her and long strided her and you jumped at him,
Okay. Hear me out.
you could get there. And if all you want to do is touch him skin on skin, then yes.
If that's all you want in life.
You could.
Oh.
It's less of an attack and more that you are bodily throwing yourself at him in the hope that you can get some skin on skin contact.
So my original suggestion, if I didn't have to be enlarged,
yeah.
is that Chad could shrink him, and then I could take that bag of holding.
Yeah.
And
Put
I
him
could
inside.
just jump
Put him in the bag.
and put it over him.
Well, first of all, what's the range of enlarge?
30 feet.
Yeah, the large wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't be able to shrink him from this distance.
But
Okay.
if we enlarged Pip and the bag,
I think you have to do one. You have to pick one or the other at this
Even
point
if I'm holding it at the time.
if she,
Yeah.
But if she has long strider
because it's a magical item.
and double jumps, would she still make it there?
Okay, I
So
feel
put it-
like this is a very specific series of
We can
events
still
that I need to look
put
in
it-
specifically.
if you put him to sleep, we can rush out, and I
And
have.
put the bag on him.
Well, we can
Yeah,
put the
forget
bag on.
about
I
his
can
army.
reduce him once we're out there. I said
What about-
reduce, not seduce. I can
We-
reduce him once we're out there.
Word.
We run the risk
Him?
that he
That's not
won't
how I
go
seduce.
to sleep.
Yeah, what if he doesn't go sleep? Then I'm going to die.
Because he's pretty much dead. He didn't bleed. He might not fall asleep.
I
I
kind
have
of feel like
like
he's going to do that thing of like just turn around just as you're about to jump on him and just go, and you're going to
Yeah.
freeze in the air.
he's pretty high powered. I do have like
I mean, that would all depend on like if he saw this. Currently, his focus is exactly away from you.
Yeah, but somebody was invisible and he just popped up through the portal right next to him.
True. Why don't you roll an Arcana check for me, please?
Me.
No, Chad.
Oh,
Not Chad.
Yeah.
No, Parter. Sorry.
okay.
I'm also looking up this whole jump stuff right now as well.
19 minus 1, 18.
18. Yeah, so you think this person might have true sight,
I think he's got true sight.
which you can see through magical invisibility, but doesn't
Oh.
necessarily give him 360-degree vision. So you still need to be looking in a direction. But it does mean like he can see things particularly well.
He's got really good sight, but there is a blind spot.
Up to 25 feet.
The blind spot.
good knowledge for you. I have one of my angel superpowers is turn the unholy, which is what I would have done if we got anywhere near the horde, because it turns the undead for like a minute if they fail a save. But obviously, he probably has quite high wisdom, so there's like a good chance that he won't pass it. But if he doesn't, then he's like turned for like a minute, and then we could put him in the bag. But I'd have to get 30 feet of him as well, which would be even harder because I don't have
Yes.
magic jump spells.
Why don't... Is there
This
a
is
way that we could work out a way of attacking him that isn't just Pip on her own? Like, because it's not going to be that long to get there. So get in the bag of holding, and then pop out at the other end. Pip, carry on.
Just an update on
What?
jumping.
Put one of us in the bag and she carries us with her. Do you remember what happened when you went in the bag?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
We could use rope this time.
We could put your animal in it.
And an oxygen tank as well.
Update on the jumping.
Oh yeah.
Yes. First of all, what's the spell that you can do? Long stride.
Long strider.
Strider.
Adds 10 feet onto the speed.
On the speed, right. So jumping and like running, walking don't mix together at all. So it's based on Pip's strength. So enlarging her, I think, does actually increase her strength, but long strider wouldn't help her jump distance. It would make her faster if she was running on foot, but doesn't help her jump any further, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I still have Fly and Tensor's floating disc, which one of them I can cast as a ritual and one of them I can cast as a spell. So we could aerial assault and drop you out of the sky to land on top of him if somebody else has something that would help
Just a
prevent.
a note on both those things. As a ritual, it takes 10 minutes to cast.
Yeah.
And Tensor's floating disc can only go up to, I think, about 5 feet off the ground.
But it follows me.
Yeah, up to a certain level. So, like, if you were to go any further than 30 feet away from it, it would just like hover beneath you, but wouldn't be able to go up to meet you. It just can't be pulled up off the ground. It has to. It's a bit like a mag lev, where there has to be a force, or 10 feet. Sorry, yeah.
Which is
If I was enlarged though, and double move, would I be able to get to him?
So if without the jumping, so there's two options. You could either try and jump your way there, or you could try and run your way there. If you were enlarged and running with the long strider, enlarging and jumping would be the combination, or just long strider and double moving would be the option. One of those two. The two don't really mix together.
Which one would get me to him?
They would both. So I think if you jumped twice, because the ring of jumping, how many charges has it got?
It just. I think it's just.
It would just do that. So jumping would probably get you there in 12 seconds. Running there probably would take you longer if you're enlarged and long strided. You still have to like run up there. So probably jumping actually would be quicker for you.
So
you
I would
get 12 seconds.
Okay. Should I do it?
What?
Worried about you going on your own though.
What's the rest of the plan?
I can. My meteors can reach within 120 feet of me, so I can try and distract him.
So currently he's. So what would have to happen is he's not bothered about running. He's in no hurry at all. You could potentially run after him, hoping that he doesn't see what you're doing and turn around, and get within a certain range. So like Pip would either have to like jump probably 2 or 3 times to get to him in the hope that he doesn't turn around and hear her jumping through the air, or hear any of you like running through the snow up behind him, and then because you'd have to run, you'd have to double move and then spend an action to cast it because he's 150 feet away. So very, very simply, the dome with the horde, say it's here. You've got your little camp, little Chad's pad just here, just above, like only about 30 feet away. And then he's halfway between you and the other dwarfs right now. Actually, no, he's not halfway. He would be 1/4 of the way between Chad's pad and the line of dwarfs. So it's
I feel like I should
Field,
just risk.
Chad's pad,
I think
him, the horde.
I think we need 2 distractions. I think one of them needs to distract him so that way Pip can get a clean shot. But then I think the other one needs to distract the army horde so that way they don't alert him or somehow signal that Pip's on her way to him if we do want to go this route. So I think if Mike
checked, you do have the element of surprise because Chad's pad is opaque. So anything you do initially is going to have surprise because no one can see what you're planning or doing from the inside out.
Have I had to recast that yet?
Chad's
No, you
bad.
have
12 seconds.
No,
Eight
it's only
hours.
it's going to be 1 minute, so you've got 7 hours 59 minutes left.
I thought we were on the tail end of that. Sorry, never mind. Okay, cool.
No. If you
what
were,
I
a lot of stuff would have happened by now.
Yeah, okay, all right.
In the last
I-
episode, you said that people can see in and out of Chad's pad.
I thought
No.
they did. That was my mistake last round.
People can see
last
out.
episode. Everybody inside it can see out, but nobody can see in.
Perfect.
You'd say there was like a big 360-degree, like Venetian-style window around it, but that was just initially while it was being cast, and then this velveteen cloak just kind of falls down over it like a big top, and now you're
Right.
completely
Gotcha.
obscured from the outside. There's
What
a
were you
bit of
gonna say?
pomp and circumstance with Chad's pad.
It always is.
Alice,
Always is.
what are you going to say?
Yeah.
I don't have much that I can help with from a distance. If I'm within 30 feet, I can try and use the turn undead thing. But I only have 8 hit points, and I only have 15 left in my lay on hands, which isn't loads. And I'm also only going at 30 feet, so it'd take me a while to catch up with him. So I don't know that I'm particularly useful in this.
I genuinely think I should just risk it, and I should just jump and try and knock him out.
But do we want to have any contingent for people getting up to the dwarves or distracting the horde behind us? Or are
I
you
could
just going to
summon
go
an
out?
animal, but it would take me 10 minutes.
Could we cast from inside? Did you say out, or do we have to be out?
You can't cast from inside out. You can cast things on yourself inside it and then walk out, but you can't cast spells like from inside to the outside.
We can't cast from inside out, but if you were casting a creature, you could cast it inside Chad's pad and it
Then
could
let
leave.
it out.
Correct.
Okay, well, I can do that, but that's the only thing. Unless we go slower, I don't mind going with someone, but I just don't want to hold back because it seems like the benefit of Pip
You
is
could
the
do.
speed.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Air, but can you cast Find Steed not as a ritual and just as or is that always a 10-minute? It's always a
I
10
think for me it is. I don't know if someone
Yeah.
if another class
No,
would
no,
be
no.
able to do it.
No, it wouldn't be.
Can I make a suggestion? Go ahead, Mike.
I can. I don't know if this will cover the guys that are behind us, but can I cast darkness so they can't see what's happening?
Yeah. I mean, if you stepped outside the field and then cast darkness, yeah, you could do that.
Do you think that will affect them?
You don't know. You could do I'm gonna say do a nature check, Mike, or a history check.
I've done nature because I don't want to lose it at 20.
20. You look at these undead up and down, and unlike the creature in the grey cloak that's stalking up the hill, these look like, apart from the guy mounted on the horse, they look like your regular zombies and skeletons. The thing on the horse, is a wight, W-I-G-H-T. And you think none of them have got true sight like the creature does. And so that, yes, they would be affected by a magical darkness.
Should I cast darkness over them?
Good shout.
And they're bunched up enough that you could get the majority of them in. There might be some stragglers on the outside that aren't affected, but you could get I'd say 90% of them.
Okay, I'm going to do that. If there are any stragglers, then in my next turn I'll just get hit with a crossbow.
Yeah. The focus probably should be the white, because that's something that has an intrinsic intelligence. The skeletons and the zombies are pretty much like mindless minions. They might not even have speech capability. It's probably really the white you have to worry about.
Okay.
If she casts darkness on the white, though, I also wouldn't be able to see if I was in that circle, right?
Oh, that's all the stuff behind you. So the field, the big dome where they can't get through is behind you right now. Then it's Chad's pad, and then it's the creature in front of you that's stalking up the hill. So that's
Sorry,
the
but
opposite
if-
direction.
For her
The
to
white
focus
behind.
on the white.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
behind
casting
you.
it on those guys so that they can't alert him of them.
They can't see what's
Like
happening.
in Game of Thrones, like the Night King and his other people on horses were like quite often separate.
Yeah. Although in this instance, he's like in the middle of them, like commanding them, like leading them to the front. And he's on this undead horse.
Tim,
Hello.
Annie, you go.
I was just going to quickly say, like, when I give the signal of when I want to cast darkness, that's when you guys should go. But I'll wait for us.
I was going to say, if I'm going to summon an animal, a giant eagle is 1 challenge rating 1. I think the limit is a half.
Yep.
But is that something that would be allowed? Like with
and as you know, I can do you roll something to see what happens to it.
So I could summon a giant eagle, but there might be something seriously wrong with it.
It might have a bad attitude like it did last time.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I can summon that could fly, which I think is more important than being able to hurt things right now. It could
A giant eagle would be able to like carry a few of you, maybe not all of you, but the majority of you could probably carry.
Yeah,
I
do
think
that.
just try it. Okay. What do I roll to see what's wrong with it?
So do you want to start your 10-minute casting right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's only got 1 wing.
Bear in mind, the spell will, if you interrupt it, like if something happens during the encounter and it interrupts, you lose that spell anyway. So it comes off your spell. Roll a d6 for me, please.
Oh, gosh. It's going to have no beak.
3.
3.
I'd rather no
Okay.
beak than no wing.
Got it. Yeah, and you start casting. So that's going to be AR out for another 10 minutes unless she wants to do something else and interrupt the spell.
Yeah.
I think we should wait for 10 minutes then.
Yeah.
You want to wait 10 minutes?
How
If any of you have any like buffing spells though that you want to do.
So unless you, I'll carry on reading and narrate what happens in that 10 minutes. At any point you want to stop not doing anything, just interrupt me and say, I want to do something now. So, a few seconds after you all decide, right, we're going to settle down for 10 minutes, cast a spell, the creature that's currently 350 feet away from the rest of the from Deep Chest and her minions, cast that very familiar spell that he used to escape from the dome. That draws a door in the air and steps through it, and you see an identical door appear 600 feet away from you, in the midst of all the dwarves and the Goliaths, and he steps out, and all shit goes off. He starts firing spells off, they start hacking at him, and a big battle ensues. Tell me if you want to do anything right now. If not, I'll tell you
I don't
the
mind
result.
waiting here and continuing to not do anything if any of you want to enact your stuff before me.
Yeah, we don't need to sneak up on him anymore.
I've already pre-rolled what happens at the battle before the episode started.
I'm still going to cast darkness on them lot.
Okay, so at this point, Mike steps outside of the dome. You have they have orders to fire, but you have surprise, so you get your spell off. And the big sphere of darkness appears centered on the white, extending out like I believe 30 feet in either direction to a 60-foot diameter, or it might be a 30-foot diameter. Completely obscuring it. It's just like a big black ball of negative light. It's like a black hole, effectively. And there's a few stragglers on either side. They start pinging arrows over to you, or they start at least training the bows and crossbows at you. Do you want to stay out here to try and pick them off, or do you want to step back inside the safety of Jazzbad?
I step back in. I've only got 8 hit points.
Yep. So you step out, cast it, and then you step back in, you're gone. And you see from the inside out a few arrows, a few bolts hit the exterior of Jazzbad, and they stop after a few seconds. But this sphere persists.
Can I, as a ritual, cast Tensor's Floating Disc?
Yep, you can start your 10-minute ritual. So you'll only be like 6 seconds behind Aya.
Yeah,
Only
but
6
I'm
seconds
also.
have passed.
I know. I was gonna say, does it make more sense to cast this now, or do we want to go try to use the element of surprise and drop a bag on top of him while he's busy fighting other people?
He is
He's
currently
not too
600 feet away now.
Yeah, I don't think we can even get to him.
The dimension door allowed him to step like that 350 feet.
Just let him die.
I have a
In an instant.
dimension door, too, but I
Yeah.
can't cast it.
Right. If you did, you could get 100 feet away from him as well. He's got a 500-foot range. He walked the 150 feet initially.
Yeah.
Too much
I
thinking.
mean,
We've
he's just gonna go slaughter all of them, and then
Mhm.
turned back to us.
We should
I
probably
don't know
just.
if he's gonna come back to us. He might go get something from that mountain that we didn't discover.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, you need to get the goat gun though.
At
Yeah,
this point, I need all of you, because I'm assuming, apart from Aya. Oh no, actually, apart from Aya and Chad, who are both casting rituals. So I need the 3 of you. So that is Mike, Pip, and Parter. Can you roll a perception check for me, please? As you're viewing the ensuing battle, so you can kind of tell what's going on.
Oh, sweet. 18.
18, nice.
15.
15, cool.
My perception +5 really saved me.
14.
14. Cool. So the 14s to 18s, you do see a pitched battle. They were not prepared at all for this to happen, and taken by surprise. They are trying to counter like melee on spellcasting. There's probably about a dozen of them at the moment, and for the first sort of 6 to 12 seconds of the battle, you think that actually they're getting in quite a lot of hits on this creature, and they're pushing him back. And then a huge cloud of yellow-green gas completely obscures your vision for about 30 seconds. There's still like occasional flashes that go off, and then everything dies down. And when this cloud dissipates, all that's left is this creature standing, and all of Deep Chest herself and all of her compatriots are either dead or missing. Another 6 seconds pass, and you see the 15, so Parter and Mike. Pip, you don't see this, unfortunately. You can't make it out from this distance. Might have something to do with your not binocular eyes sitting on the side of your head rather than the front. It gives you not a very good telefocus lens. You're good at like seeing things around you, but not at a distance. Maybe some bifocals are in order. But you other two, you see 6, I believe, of these creatures. Let me just double check because this will be important.
Oh boy.
Sorry, 5. You see 5 of these the figures that are on the floor, including Deep Chest herself, start moving. And then they stand up unnaturally onto their feet. So there's now 5 of the things that were dead. These dwarfs, a mixture of dwarfs and Goliaths. And they turn and they walk into the House of Sin fortress. This creature stays
Oh yeah.
where it is for a second, and then starts walking back towards you.
Oh,
That's so scary.
we have
I told
absolutely.
you I should have just jumped at him. I told you.
Yeah, but he already jumped through a portal.
We've cocked this. We've absolutely
I
cocked
think we still wait the 10 minutes, get the disc and the eagle, and then fly away.
Yeah, I think we just have to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fight him.
Yeah, we got to.
Again, if you want to interrupt me at any point whilst I narrate, by all
I'll
means,
interrupt you
just
right
jump
now.
right in. Oh, sorry, interrupt me right now.
No, that's fine.
Please.
Seeing that and like worrying about the people behind us, and now him come back towards us.
Mhm.
I'm gonna cast Hidden Step, which is bonus action. Can I do that now?
Yeah.
Am I able to? So
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I
sure.
can step out of my tent, out of the tent,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna cast. How far behind are they? Well, within.
So the actual field behind you is something like 30, 40 feet behind you.
Easy, cool. And it was centered on that guy, wasn't it? The white.
Yeah, whom
Right.
you cannot see. Quite a lot has happened at this point. So you assume, I mean, if he's stupid, he would have stayed at the very center of this sphere. If he's not stupid, he would have tried to start moving around inside the sphere.
I'm gonna center it just forwards, 2.5 feet forwards from the center.
Okay.
Thinking that he's stepped forward a little bit.
All right.
And I'm gonna cast
Let me figure out if he did. Oh, hold on. Okay.
You?
I was like assigning directions to my die.
Wait, where did Khalil go?
You
Oh,
sneeze.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh!
That wasn't.
What the on earth is
That
going on?
wasn't
Hey, guys.
on the screen.
Cast Moonbeam.
That was very dramatic how that happened. You cast Moonbeam. Okay. What is the radius of Moonbeam, please?
Blurry.
It's
Yeah, no, it made my mom grainy.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Area of 5 foot. A range of 120.
Okay. You step out. You cast Moonbeam. It goes off. And it was 2.5 feet in front of where he was. Bearing in mind the length of a horse is greater than 2.5 feet.
And I'm going to go 10 feet in front.
I
it's 5
sneezed
foot.
for like 2
Right.
minutes.
Yeah.
I'm very confused as to who are you moonbeaming? I'm sorry, I was sneezing.
The white, the creature on the horseback
Got it.
that's in the center
Okay.
of this sphere of
Moonbeam.
darkness. Jeez. It's the way it goes completely like white.
Yeah.
And you say
it's
Moonbeam?
terrifying.
Yeah. You do that. Are you stepping out, casting it, and stepping back in, or are you going out, casting it, and remaining there for the duration?
Absolutely stepping back in.
Okay. So again, you have surprise. Again, you see what Mike did prior to that. That the undead are firing arrows retroactively at your position. And it just pings harmlessly off Chad's pad. And this moonbeam comes down from the sky from an unknown point, like a singularity in the sky, just centered on a little bit forward of the darkness sphere, and it just disappears in the darkness sphere, and you can't tell what happens. And it remains there for as long as you control it.
You should just move
Look
it
at
around.
you lot.
Yeah.
Just wipe
Well,
it out.
I can move it on my next go.
Yeah, you can.
Move it around.
So, for the interest of like expediency, I assume you like move it within the sphere.
Yeah.
How long does it last for?
So it can last. Spell ends until the spell.
Tim's not rolling at all. That doesn't bode well.
Yep. He knows.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He knows too much.
Duration, concentration, up to 1 minute.
Okay, cool. You hoover it around. Meanwhile, that's happening. The creature only takes 600 feet, 30 feet. So that's 20 rounds. What is 20 rounds? Is that correct? 10 rounds to move. 300. So 20 rounds at 6 seconds each. So that's 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get back to you. He's in no hurry. So about halfway, he's now just walking back down the hill, away from the remaining corpses of the dwarves and the Goliaths. About 30 seconds into your moonbeam, the white and on its horse breaks out of the sphere on the when you're looking at it on the right hand side. But it is like heavily seared. It's like smoking. The horse is smoking. Is like limping quite heavily. Again, it's a skeletal horse, so don't feel too bad. And this white again is like heavily burnt on one side. And then a couple of zombies. There's probably only about half a dozen zombies and skeletons that make it out of the sphere in its entirety. Presumably, you've hoovered up quite a lot of creatures on the inside. It's a powerful spell that you've used.
Oh, you did.
And they can't, and they're not intelligent, and they can't see what they're doing, and so they've just randomly happened to have wandered out.
The fact that the hooded creature, is walking
Yes,
to us and not going through a portal to get to us quicker.
correct.
He's enjoying this, guys. We need to kill this shit out of him.
We can't
We're
kill
not
it.
going to.
I know. I'm hoping.
I mean, you don't know what this creature is. You don't know how powerful or not it is.
I think we
I
know.
think we got a sense of how powerful it is. Sorry.
Or is that an indication that we could? We just need to know.
No. I'm just saying, like, you're not sure. You don't know.
Okay,
You've seen him cast he's cast a 6th level spell. You know that.
That's high.
I think we need to make a decision about what we do, because so far all we've done is watch all of our friends get murdered.
They are friends.
So should
Me
we?
and Cleo are waiting for the 10 minutes, but
It's been a
whether or
minute.
not we should.
It's been a hot minute.
We've got 9 more minutes of carnage to wait through. If that's what.
Just going to say this: Mike and I have done our bit so far. We've hurt people.
How long?
I sprinkled some emo darkness on them.
How long is a short rest?
1 hour.
And we gain all of our hit points.
1 hour for a short rest, and you can spend your hit dice, and normally that will probably refill you up to max, especially those who have not lost a lot.
Feel free to object, but I think we need to do something, or else we're just going to be stuck in this dome. I think we short rest so that we get all of our hit points up, and we hope that within that hour he gets bored and just walks away, because we know that he can't get into the tent. And then when we wake up, we reevaluate the situation with full hit points, and then we just try and escape.
So FYI, you've still got 7 hours, 57 minutes, and 48 seconds left on Chad's pad.
I agree with that plan, but let's not call it a tent. It's Chad's pad.
And let's wait 9 minutes until we start our sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whilst Pip is projecting this plan towards you, her back to everything else, you see coming from the open doorway to the House of Sin, there is a flash of pink red light that explodes out of the stone entrance, lighting up the surrounding snowfield. And then about 2 or 3 seconds later, you then hear like a thunderous crack as the sound wave hits you. Something has happened inside the House of Sin.
It's got to be Voldemort.
Or
no!
the pirate scientist.
Yeah. The pirate scientist was working on something when we left. And as we were leaving, he was like, this is it. It's going to work or whatever.
But then, on the other hand, how did the zombie man not kill them all when he went inside?
He didn't go inside. He just stayed at the front line. And then he's come back towards you. Yeah, he just sent the corpses that he reanimated.
I'm glad they got away, if that's the case.
Yeah, can we before we all fall asleep, can we wait 2 minutes just to see if any of the dwarves come out?
Yeah, totally.
But we still have to wait 9 minutes.
Oh yeah, we have to wait 9 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely do. And then immediately fall asleep. You just drop.
Sun is sitting around me, so I'm just going to go turn a light on.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
We'll wait a second. Another minute does pass by, though. And in that minute, so the creature is already halfway towards you when that flash happens. Another minute, and he gets to, just under a minute, he gets to the pile of corpses from the scout party. He stops at one of them, turns and looks down for a few seconds, and from this distance, you can hear what sounds like someone, like if you put ceramic beads inside a Coke can and then twisted the Coke can like that, as one of the creatures stands up but unnaturally, like its feet plant, its knees bend, and then it kind of elevates itself just using its knees and stands back upright.
How far away are they?
From you, about 150 feet, as one of these dwarves stands back up. And it is like horribly withered. It looks just like it's been dead for 3 to 6 months at this point. Sorry, Mike.
Oh no, just saying I'm on the edge of inside Chad's pad like that, pressed up against it, being like.
Well, you've got to be really careful because there's no like physical thing preventing you from going through it.
I'm pretending
But you're miming
yeah.
being pressed against it. Yeah.
And I'm like, I know this is like really scary, guys, but that was cool.
And then it and this newly reanimated creature walk in tandem back towards you.
Okay, not cool.
Again, like, stop me if at any point. But they walk initially what looks like directly at you, but as they get closer, it's kind of the trajectory just takes them within about 5 or 10 feet of Chad's pad and around. As it gets within about 30 feet, the reanimated dwarf, which now is like all of its hair, like the beard and its hair are shock white. Its skin are like green grey, and it's all pulled in. Its eyes have gone completely white. Its teeth are rotten, and it just, Mike, almost where you've kind of mimicking you pressing up, about 2.5 feet to your left, this dwarf just stands there and stops and just stares blankly at the wall, like and just doesn't move at all, like a statue. And then the grey cloaked creature starts walking around Chad's pad.
I can't cast anything when I'm casting a ritual, right?
No, you'd lose that spell slot at this point if you interrupted it.
I'm frozen. I'm not moving. Again, it's a dinosaur.
And I believe it doesn't stop sound coming out of Chad's pad, FYI. It just obscures sight.
I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I'm just crying. I'm rocking. I don't like this.
This is horrible.
Okay. As you say, I don't like this. Its head kind of snaps unnaturally to one side, looking vaguely in your direction, Parter. Yeah. And it starts almost like it's sniffing the air, but its nose is kind of collapsed in its skull at this point, and it's just kind of almost like a Voldemort-style flat, grey-green flap of skin that's covering where its nose would have been.
Has the Night King gone past us?
The creature in the grey cloak with the staff is like Gandalfing its way, like leaning heavily on its staff. As it walks by in profile, I don't think you've seen it in profile yet, it's hunched over. It gets very close. You could go to that side of Chad's pad if you wanted to. You see that it's wearing gloves, like tattered leather gloves. And again, it's the cloak itself writhes as though it's got eels like running around its own body, and it's like undulating. Like shoulders and around its forearms and midsection is all moving constantly.
Pip, just stick your hand out of Chad's pad and touch his face.
Does it look like he's using his staff to like keep him up?
Yeah, he looks like he's leaning heavily on it. He's also got quite a significant hunchback.
I've got an idea. Why don't we try and talk to him?
And he might be like about... You think if he was able to stand like fully erect, he would be about 5'9", but the hunchback is like pushing him over to sort of about 5'3", 5'4".
Oh, he's tiny.
Could we try and steal his stuff?
He's on his... So he's going... As he's coming down, he's going the left side. So it means his left is on your side. And he's right-handed, it seems. So his staff is on the opposite side. You could try and like get out there and try and grab it if you want to.
Should I try and touch him? Should I just try and run out and touch him since he's so close? Or should I just try and grab his staff and hope he falls over?
If you grab his staff, it's on the wrong side. He's definitely going to mess you up before that happens. And also, we should get a good look at him.
Yeah. Now you see him. Again, you haven't seen his face like at all at this point. The cowl has been down this entire time. Even when he was standing at Chad's bed at the beginning of the session, looking in. When he was looking, he wasn't using his eyes, presumably. He could see through material. And now that you see him up close as well, like there is no exposed skin readily available. However, it would be cloak and attire is so tattered that you can see bits of desiccated flesh underneath it. So there's potential, like you could try and grab his face, or you could go like up his sleeve, or try and like just put your finger on one of the like tattered holes. There
close
is
is
flesh
he?
available, but it looks like he is covered.
You should just like you can go in and out of Chad's pad, so you should just swing an arm out and slap him in the face.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Pip, FYI, because he is like between 5 and 10 feet, so let's like cut the difference and say he's 7 feet away, and you are 3.5 feet tall. So you would need to entirely leave Chad's pad and run like 3 or so foot out, and then slap him, and then run in, which is something you could easily do in 6 seconds. You could run out, slap him, run back in, no problem. But you would entirely leave Chad's pad, and then you would.
That's one turn, though, right?
Yeah.
6 seconds is one turn.
Yep.
So I could be back in Chad's pad before he even retaliates.
You just go out, just slap him, and then back in again.
I'm going to do it.
Are we just going to straight up just try and be cheeky to this guy?
Yeah.
My backup plan if that doesn't succeed.
I mean, you can.
Let's tie a rope to Pip so we can just yank her back in.
Good idea.
Yes.
Okay, tie a rope around me.
And-
I'll run out, slap him, and run
Yeah.
back in.
Where's the dwarf that he resurrected?
So if you think of things in like its cardinal like positions, he would be on the north side, and then at this point you've let the creature go in, and it's now west.
Yeah, but the one that he just raised is on the west side.
No, north side. I look
North
at
side.
you. Yeah.
Sorry.
And now the creature's on the
north
west.
side. So Pip's going west.
Creature's on the west side.
Creature's on the west side.
Yep.
How it takes her 3 feet to get out and slap
Yeah.
the hooded figure. How far does it take me to
He
reach?
just goes out and just pap slaps him.
Papa slap. How far would it take me to reach the reanimated dwarf? Just out of
You could just
curiosity.
like put a pinky out and just touch his face. He's that close.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
I just
face.
want to punch him at Ow. I
Do
just want to.
you want to cancel your spell?
No shit! Damn it! Somebody else punch him in the face.
Hang on. Have we got weapons, right? Can you use weapons through it?
Yeah.
I know you can't use magic, but you can hit
Yeah, you
them
could just
through
go
without.
with a
Skewer
sword
him.
straight through. Yeah, no worries.
Skewer him, and then you make that noise.
Yeah.
Just like my gun makes, or my
Mike,
crossbow.
what have you got? What weapons have you got?
I've got my daggers that I can do that across his.
Are we doing that before we attack the main guy?
I say at the same time.
Someone needs to.
Well, actually, yeah, I'll pull you back in.
And
Oh, you'd have to
Or-
cancel
No, you
your
won't.
spell to be able to.
Oh nope, I can't do that. Never
I'm
mind.
gonna.
Josh, do the pulling, right?
I'll do the pulling.
So we've got
Hang
Josh
on.
doing the pulling, and we've got
Hang on.
Mike doing the knifing,
Yeah.
and
I'm
then
gonna wrap.
Aya and Chad doing the spelling
I'm gonna tie some hempen rope around you though, because I'm not gonna
Okay.
go out. I'm gonna
specifically.
hold on from the inside.
To be clear, Mike's stabbing not the main bad guy, but
No, but
the
the dwarf.
resurrected dwarf.
Yes.
One,
Yes.
the
I'm
one
just making
that's
sure
in
before we get into it.
Yep.
in my together.
Okay, let's do lesser to greater. Let's do Mike first. You're stabbing with both knives at the same time. Can you roll to hit? But because it's a surprise and he is stationary and not expecting it, roll both with advantage.
It'd be such a terrible way to go, just like leaning your head against something and suddenly two knives just stick out and poke you in the head.
Yeah, or just in the ear.
Ow!
So how many am I rolling?
2 attacks, but both with advantage. So technically you're rolling 4d20. The first 2 take the highest. Second 2 take the highest.
Okay.
Okay, so 18,
Yep, hits.
21.
Both hit. Roll your damage for your 2 daggers. One offhand and one on hand.
4.
Mhm.
And 7.
So
No,
11 in total. No? 4 and 7?
The second one was 5. I can't count.
Oh, right. So that's 9 in total. Got it. Cool. Stab, stab. Straight in his face. As you withdraw, your knives, you see that there is like chunky coagulated blood, red blood on it, dark blood. At the same time, Pip, you jump out with the hempen rope that Parter has tied around your waist in a marshland knot, specific to Black Mire, something that you learnt when you were a child. It's very secure when you're pulling on it, but can be taken off quickly in an emergency if needed to. So Pip, I need to roll a difficulty check as you slap him. Can you also roll a Constitution saving throw as you slap him?
Yeah. Constitution.
Why is she rolling a Constitution saving throw?
He gets. Sorry, what was your? Is your saving throw Constitution saving throw as well?
What was the question?
Your skin on skin sleep thing. What saving throw is that?
Can literally never remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Constitution.
It's Constitution, yeah.
Constitution.
Poisonous skin, DC 12, Constitution. Yep. He rolls a 15 on the die, so no problem. He survives. What do you get on your Constitution saving throw?
No, what's he got on his skin?
Can I use inspiration?
Yes, if you've got inspiration, you can use inspiration. Absolutely.
I use inspiration. That gives me advantage, right?
Yes. So the one you rolled, and then now this one. You take the highest.
Oh, and you get +5 on saving throws.
I get +5.
What's your radius on that? If it's more than 10 feet, you're okay. If it's less than 10 feet, you're not okay. She's gone outside. Bear in mind, Chad's pad is quite an area. It's quite the pad.
Spacious.
I genuinely don't. Where would it be?
So be on your character sheet under the aura, and it will tell you what the aura is, depending on what the aura is. There's aura protection, I believe, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It should say, I think it's 10 feet, to be honest, which would mean that Pip's outside that.
I genuinely can't see it. I'm sorry, Tim. I'll take your word for whatever you think it is.
I think it is, but I can find it. It's fine. If you go on features and traits.
Features and traits.
Yes, I think so.
Okay,
Something like that. Divine Sense, Lay on Hands, Spellcasting, Divine Smite, Child Divinity. Great. Yeah, 10 feet.
Aura protection. Cool.
10 feet. Yeah. So unfortunately, Pip's outside that. Now she's gone both outside. Like there's a 5 foot like interior, and now she's 3.5 feet, and she's outside.
That's fair.
Also, Chad's bad may even restrict that, but I won't matter at this point. So no, she doesn't get +5. What do you get on your advantage though, Pip?
I haven't rolled. Sorry. What was decided?
You don't get the +5.
I don't. Okay. Okay, I got a 17 +3.
Oh yeah, that's enough. So as you so you only take, as you do skin on skin,
200 points.
Oh my god, 16 points of necrotic damage. As when your hand makes contact with its skin, the palm of your hand starts rotting away, and you immediately tear it off of his skin, leaving like a film of epidermis on where you contacted him, right? And your palm is necrotized. It's all black, and it almost goes into your veins. But you don't suffer any further effects other than the damage that you took.
Pull me back, Pat.
Of your own volition, you can just hop back inside. Although he would get an attack of opportunity.
You told me he wouldn't be able to.
No, I didn't say he wouldn't be able to hurt you.
You cheating. No, you're not. I'm not calling you cheating.
And then Potter died.
And as you pull back in the seconds as you leave within a few inches of him, he turns and tries. Oh no, you got surprise. And True Sight doesn't see it. No, it's fine. You got surprise. Yeah, you get pulled. You get jumped back. It's fine.
Okay, I'm back in.
He just turn and he stops for a second and looks at the velveteen blank wall from his side, and then carries on.
Just poke your blade out, just as a little threat. Just poke it out.
He's about 7 feet away, and she's stabbing the dwarf. And we'll go back to Mike. Do you want to carry on your assault?
Yes.
Okay. It hasn't moved away. So again, roll. Not with advantage this time, just 2 regular rolls.
Do I have enough time to switch? Can you remind me the shape of the scimitar?
Mm-hmm. So scimitar is like about a 2 or 3 foot long short sword, but curved. So scimitar is something that maybe you'd see a bit further east of the Forgotten Realms, but also pirates would use them as well.
Okay.
They're very good at like when instead of like there being a flat blade in contact, like a hacking motion, that's very much more of a slicing motion, like a cheese knife.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got my daggers like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that because I just want to quickly like drop them within Chad's pad.
Okay.
And then reach for my scimitar.
Yep. So I believe scimitar is light.
Are you chopping people's feet off?
So scimitar is a light weapon. You can keep a dagger in one hand and attack with a scimitar in your right, providing you're right-handed. So you could drop one dagger, take out the scimitar, but keep the dagger in the other hand and attack both those.
I kind of want to slice his head off.
Yeah, you can still slice his head off and then stab him at the same time.
Slice his head off and then stab his head off.
Yeah.
What if I stab and then slice?
Yeah, you can do that. It doesn't really matter. I don't care which order you do it in. Yeah, totally.
It doesn't matter.
Roll a d20 and then just do the stab first and the slice second. So the first one would be your dagger.
Oh, awesome. 24.
That hits. And then do your scimitar slice.
A slice.
Slice.
22.
Both those hit. Roll a d4 for your dagger, and then roll 1d6 plus your strength modifier or your dexterity modifier, whichever is higher, your scimitar.
Dagger is 6.
You got 6 on a 1d4?
No, it's 4 plus 2.
Oh, with your offhand, you don't get the extra bonus unless you've taken 2-weapon fighting as a feat.
4.
4.
And then scimitar, what do I add that to? Sorry?
1d6 plus the one you just said, the 2.
Okay, 7.
7. So 7 plus 4, 11. You did 8 earlier, 19. It's still standing, but you've cut like its throat entirely, and now there is not only like coagulated blood pouring out, kind of like a chunky tomato soup down the vestments that he's wearing, but also part of his windpipe, kind of like a bluey, almost translucent pipe that is protruded out of the wound and is just like tucked over the lip of the wound, and is now like whistling in the air as the Arctic wind hits his gaping mouth and then whistling down his throat and out of this tube that you've produced.
Great.
However, there's been no reaction.
In character, I'm absolutely loving this, but in real life, I actually feel quite sick right now.
Oh, I think you can do that. No one to blame but yourself. 6 seconds go by. He walks another 30 feet and gets a good 15 to 20 feet away from the sphere, the hemisphere, Chad's bad. He is that much closer. Next round, he will be in the field, reunited with the undead horde. However, the zombie that you're attacking has not moved. Unless anybody wants to attack the grey-cloaked figure before he goes into the field, Mike can have another attack. You're still only 1 minute and 12 seconds into your casting. If you're 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
This disc better be worth it.
I genuinely hope so.
Since I can't cast spells out, but I can use weapons out, right?
Yes.
So on here it says you can apply the poison to any piercing weapon as part of an attack with that weapon.
Correct.
When you hit the poison reacts differently. The target must succeed on a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or take 2d4 poison damage.
Correct.
So as he walks away, I'm going to try and hit him.
So you just wipe the arrowhead on your skin, on like the most porous parts of your skin, coating it in your own particular poison. You knock it into your short bow, I think, and then you fire it out. A roll to hit for me, please.
Longbow.
Oh, longbow, apologies.
So to hit,
I was
got
being
18.
grung racist and saying that you aren't able to have a longbow.
How dare you?
Sorry, it's my bad.
So 18, and then hit is plus 10.
Yes, I mean 28. That will definitely hit him.
And then, do I do the damage and then the poison on top of it?
Well, he needs to do a Constitution saving throw. Oh, Where
Sounds
is his thing? Oh no, where is it? Oh, there it is.
Where is it?
This one will do 30. No, wait a minute. 11. So yeah, you do the poison damage.
As well as the arrow damage.
Yep.
What's a D8?
The one that looks kind of like a diamond.
That one.
Correct. Yes, that's the one.
So for the arrow damage,
Yep, it's this one.
7 plus 5.
Yep. So you got 12 points of damage.
And then the... Oh, where's it gone?
And then I think
Where's
it's a poison damage.
2D.
2D. Nice. Very nice.
I can't believe I haven't done this before. This feels very effective.
I think you have tried it once before, but it was a long time ago.
2 and 4.
2 and 4. So 6. Perfect. Yeah, and the arrow sinks like deep into his side, like lodging itself to. So almost only the flight is left, like the feathers sticking out of his side, and he reacts to it. No spell effect can get. I need to read Chad's pad specifically because it's not a spell. It's a spell-like effect. Does a spell-like effect get through?
Oh.
Pretty cool spell-like effect, though.
Chad's pad, here we go.
If it turns out he can actually harm us, we're fucked.
Oh, don't give him any ideas.
Well, he'd have disadvantage on like trying to like see you because it's opaque. So he'd have to try and work out the angle by like him being shot, which is very difficult.
Well, Tim's figuring that out. Is my video backwards?
No, I can read your T-shirt,
No,
so it's fine.
Can you?
No,
Yeah.
It's probably backwards to you, but it's not
It's
backwards
backwards
to us.
to me because
Yeah.
I was gonna
That's
do
default.
this.
So it's
Yeah.
you
And now
Is that better?
it's okay
Yeah,
for you. And
carried.
it's still the same for us.
and
All right, well-
Nero.
Don't do that, internet.
Or do if you want to see yourself.
No, Tim, you're supposed to be doing stuff. I'm trying to fill the space. Come on, Tim. God.
Yeah, this is gold.
Come on,
What
man.
were you going to do?
Creatures and objects
You
and
missed
gnomes. When he got
That was it. That was his little bit.
That was the whole thing.
Spells
Is that
are original
it's backwards to me.
Spells and
Andy,
other
you're ruining it for me.
magical
Here
effects.
Tim's back.
So spell and magical effects. So that would include like magical innate abilities. So the abilities don't go off, but Pip, you do see his face for the first time.
Oh, what does it look like?
So
Friendly.
imagine a
It's a little
human.
child.
First of all, imagine a human face, a generic human face.
I couldn't do that.
Okay. Then imagine that this generic human face has been through machinations unknown to you, but unfathomable to you, has been distended into that of a jaguar human face.
A
So,
jaguar.
like so its jaw and its nose has been pulled out to make like that kind of like feline type profile, and its
It's not-
eyes have been sunk back and its brows been extended, and it's halfway between a human and a jaguar. Then imagine
Stop
that
it.
creature
Jaguar.
has died, died perhaps in a fire, and then been left to rot for nearly a year, and so like, the skin
Imagine.
itself is
Yeah.
putrefied and sloughed off, but there are still a few like desiccated, chalky almost, like skin flaps just randomly attached to its face.
Nope.
Then on top of that, in where the eye sockets where human or jaguar eyes used to be, no longer are there the sac-filled corneas, but there are just pinpricks of ultraviolet light, burning like distant stars inside this black void.
My mind isn't capable of this.
No.
As it turns to you, sorry.
No, you can carry on.
As it turns to you, Pip, and just stares almost through you, into your very soul.
I go like that.
It can't see you.
You had to have seen the episode where we read our comments, but what are the chances that this is C. Craig?
What?
And then it turns away and stalks off into the
Child.
into the domed creature, and then just carries on walking away, just into the tundra.
He lived.
Like digging into the snow,
That might
like
be
making a
secret.
way in the snow.
That was not what my mind was imagining.
Why would C. Craig look like a human jaguar? He would look like a bird. Where
I don't know,
It's the
Ellie. What
best.
does it look like when a bird has sex with a turtle?
Yeah, what does anyone know
it's
what
kind
that
of
looks
like
like anyway?
it's kind of the best configuration I can give of what would happen to its skull at this point. I'm
Did
trying
he-
to paint you a word picture of like the configuration of bone.
So
If
good.
we could
Nothing like
illustrate-
this exists
This
in
is-
nature.
having a one-night stand was 100% the worst thing that's happened in all of our lives.
I agree, but I mean, I thought our child was brain dead.
He was just scrambled.
Was he in a
It's
fire?
not better.
This thing has been burnt like alive.
Yeah,
again,
we
it's more
lost
of a
track
like
of C. Craig a while ago.
it's more of a like a visual like cue about how its skin looks, not necessarily what actually has happened to it.
He was
It looks
born
like scales and feathers.
So again, I'm just kind of like trying to paint a narrative picture of it.
Wait, we all thought this was the Night King, but this is the Song of Ice and Fire. Ooh,
Crow and turtle.
Crow and turtle. Yeah, you know,
Are you saying that this
some
guy is
fire.
snow?
I think
and
we
it-
skipped ahead on accident.
And again, it just stalks off into the distance as it penetrates the field where the other undead cannot pass. The wight on horseback and the remaining zombies and skeletons file in line and go as a column behind it, and it just walks very slowly off south away from you.
I think we scared him away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won that encounter.
We high fiving.
Job done.
Run it. You walk away.
Mike, the dwarf, is still standing there in you.
I think
Is
we
my
should.
dagger still in its head?
Sorry?
My dagger's still in its head?
It can be if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there, and it's still staying stock still with your dagger in its head.
I think we
It's
should
still
bring him
functioning.
Oh, we didn't do anything for the entire time, and now it's just gone.
Everyone is dead.
Bye.
We should go into the ship and see if everyone's still alive after that explosion.
There's no ship. That's a mountain cavern, House of Sin.
Well, I'm confused, okay? We've been on a lot of different transportation methods.
We should absolutely
Oh, yeah.
go in there and see if we can find my goat gun.
I think we should go the opposite way of that man. Get out
Chad,
there.
They are the opposite way.
Chad, I will not make you roll for anything at all.
Thanks.
Deep Chest had the goat gun.
She got
Oh.
killed and went in that.
No, she's a zombie.
She went
Now
in
it's
Yeah.
Chad's gun.
I think we should still do the short rest and then go and pick through the zombies and see if we can find you a
Yeah.
golem.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
let's do that.
So
Do it.
about another hour and 7 minutes pass by. Mike, I'm just going to gloss over the fact that I think you probably killed the dwarf on the other side of the field by cutting the remaining of its leathery tether of its neck flesh off, and its head just lolls to one side. and its corpse, headless corpse, falls t'other, and starts staining the snow with a dark red coagulant.
I take its hand, and together we make corpse angels in the snow.
So you on one side and it on the other, conjoined by your digits. You make a complete snow angel on your side. It makes 1/4 of a snow angel on its side, because you've only got contact with one limb. And an hour and 7 minutes pass by. Aya, you have a steed, the eagle, and it projects into life. Now imagine an eagle.
God.
First of all, the template, the eagle itself.
I see it.
It is giant, so its wingspan is a good 14 feet tip to tip if it were to stretch, though it cannot extend nor stretch that far. Its feathers are constantly, like, the edges are like burnt paper, where a light orange is constantly playing on the edge of the feathers.
Because everything I make is on fire.
And its eyes are that of like an albino bunny, pink, and distended out of its skull, as avian eyes are, to see that good vision. But it's, instead of it pink, it is like a dull red, but like a varying red, like concentric circles of different shades of red. And its beak, you think golden it should be, and its feathers, a silver, is instead like a black and ashed feathers, and a completely charcoal snoot. And as you project it into life, it starts coughing and hacking on the floor in a wheezing bent.
Oh,
Like
I
it's
hope
got
that's its only flaw.
asthma.
It's got asthma.
It just
I feel
and
your
just
pain.
hacks up on the floor, just like this sizzling black ichor projects from its beak and just hits the snow and starts like burning into the ground.
Oh. Burning because it's hot and it's snow, not burning because it's like acid or anything.
Burning because it's hot and it's snow, yes. And it looks over to you, and you have this vision of an eagle in your head. However, it looks more like a prostrate, not prostate, but a prostrate vulture.
You know where our mind went?
Yes, a vulture, like it's hunched up, with its wings tucked in, subserviently to you, but it just looks a bit sickly.
It's just poorly.
It's just poorly. It's just feeling a bit under the weather. I'm going to rub its beak and tell it that it's beautiful.
Though it doesn't burn you, the beak itself is very hot to the touch.
What's its name?
Yeah, Kenko. After the coffee brand. I've run out of chain stores, so.
I like Kenko.
Thank you. Thanks for the support.
Kenko
This is the
really
most
thick.
sympathy that you've ever showed a pet, and I think it's just because it appeared poorly rather than threatening.
Yeah. But Kenko spelled KYEN_KO.
Absolutely.
Kenko.
Nice to know you, Kenko.
Nice to meet you, Kenko.
Hi, Kenko.
Okay, it just hacks up some more like bile onto the snow, and then kind of like settles down and nests a little bit.
Can you make a hot drink out of that?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Hot bloody
Have eagle bile.
drink.
Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
Kenko really rich.
I forgot our plan because I was distracted by Kenko. But were we going to...
At now a rest.
Similar time, a spherical disc appears in front of Chad.
You're jumping on it.
So that 7 minutes is gone.
Take a nap.
You've got another hour. How long does Tenzin floating disc last for?
Probably just enough to last out this nap.
About an hour, I think.
Fuck's sake, dude. It does
You
not
chose
say.
this, not me.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you've now got a sphere for your long,
All right.
for
Well,
your
you know
short
what?
rest.
I'm gonna nap on.
Not a sphere. Okay.
So
You
that'll
curl up.
show you, Tim.
You curl up on Chad's floating disc.
Stick a beanbag on it. Lay on the beanbag on your disc.
You curl up on Chad's large frisbee.
Well, I take a
and
nap on my disc.
it's a little bit like white noise when you lay on it because it's constantly humming. So when you put your like lizard ear orifice to it, it's
Come
kind
on.
of a little bit resonant. Well, that's what lizards have. They don't have like
Yeah, well, you don't
ear
have to tell
flaps like
everybody.
humans do. They just have a hole in the side of their head. It just resonates, and it just sends you to a quick Chad nap.
Just like I planned it.
Everyone can spend as many hit dice as they have currently. Why not hit the short rest on your character sheet, please?
I cannot believe I just spent the last hour and a half waiting for this to happen.
However, you can just cast another ritual 10 minutes
It's fine.
before the short rest ends, and you can have another Chad's Frisbee ready for you to go.
It's fine.
That's fine. It's totally up to you.
Can I?
In the hour, yeah, totally. In the
Okay.
hour and 7, because it's ritual, you can do ritual as much as you want. In the hour and 7 minutes before the short rest is over, you just see the horde, the undead horde. By the way, your darkness sphere expires, and on the ground you just see a bunch of burnt corpses, like blackened skeletons and desiccated zombie flesh.
Yeah.
So with a short rest, if you want to like get some hit points back, what you can do is spend your hit dice. You have a number of hit dice equal to your current level, which is level 8, and the number of hit dice is based on your character class, which, for instance, in Mike's case, as a sorcerer, which would be a D6. So, Mike, if you wanted to spend your hit dice, for example, you'd roll as many as up to 8 D6, and you can add your Constitution modifier to it. And your Constitution modifier for your particular character is, I believe, +2. Is that correct? Yeah, +2. So you can roll as many of D6s +2 as you like to get yourself back up as high as you want. But you can't obviously go over your maximum hit points, which is 45. So you're currently you need 37 hit points. So roll as many as you want to get as close to 37 as you want. And hit points come back to you at like half the amount per short rest. So tonight, when you take a long rest, you get half of your hit dice back, and then the next day you get the other half. So once everyone's happy with your short rest, the horde in the hour is gone off into the distance. You still have, I don't know, at this point, 6 hours, 46 minutes, and 36 seconds left on Chad's pad.
Should we just
That
go?
second made all the difference.
I thought so. Don't check this.
Yeah.
At this point, now all you can hear is the icy wind of the open tundra of the Shadowmounts blowing over Chad's pad. There's a little bit of like snowbank appearing around the edges of Chad's pad, building up as it is wont to do against a structure. The sound itself kind of chills you to the bone. It's not a nice, like festive, listen to that wintry gale outside, and whilst we're all cozy, making s'mores on the inside, this is what we have to face once this protective hemisphere is gone. It's going to blow straight through you and chill your bones from the inside out. It's a desolate field of white and snow.
Chad, can you expand Chad's
I was gonna say, do we get any of our spell slots back after the short rest? Or
Arcane
is that-
recovery, you can do, yes.
Yep. Thank
With
you.
arcane, with arcane recovery, you can spend up to something.
Didn't catch that term.
I can't remember.
I got all my spell slots back, and
You
I'm
don't-
now level
no.
100.
Incorrect. Untrue. I don't approve of this. Arcane recovery you get from level 1. You've learned to regain some of your magical energy by switching a spellbook once per day. Once you finish a short rest, you can choose expended spell slots to recover. The spell slots can have a combined level that's equal to or less than half your wizard level. So you're currently level 8, so you can get a level 4 spell back.
I can get 1 level 4 spell back.
Yeah, or like 2 level 2s, for example, or 1 level 1 and 1 level 3.
Yeah, my level 2,
Combined.
all my level 1s are grease.
Yeah, so you can get 4 level 1s back if you want. Whatever spell slots you've got that total up to 4.
I can quadruple grease.
If you've spent 4 level spells, yes. If you haven't, then it's kind of worthless a little bit.
On a tangent, every time you say tundra, I keep thinking of the Mighty Boost.
Yeah.
All I can think of.
Tundra!
Alright, well I can get dimension
Only the
door.
wind is my friend.
That sounds like it'd be a good one to get back. But
It is. I can only bring 1 person with me at a time,
With what?
unfortunately.
With Dimension Door? Yes.
Yeah,
That's a 4th level spell?
it is.
Yeah. Okay, so you mark back, you have 1 4th level spell slot back.
Okay.
Job done. Everyone else, I think, should be groovy. What do you want to do with the next 6 hours and X amount of minutes? There's nothing and no one around you right now.
Let's get
I think we should
ourselves
try
back.
and get back.
There was like a blue acrid smoke bellowing from the inside of the keep. However, that is now dissipated within the last hour.
Let's
And
head
now
back
there
there.
is nothing.
Yeah.
Let's
Do you want to cancel
just do
Chaz
that
Bad?
Well, I've now got an extra disc. I can fly.
You can carry up to 500 pounds upon Chad's frisbee.
Yeah. How much
How many
is...
people?
But it's up to however much 5 people weigh and how close people are comfortable being.
I can get on
enlarge-
Kenko, so
True.
Okay, if you can get on Genko, then everybody else should be able to get on the disc and we can fly back.
So
Oh, cast fly.
Pip, Mike, Parter, and Chad, you're all standing on Chad's frisbee. It very awkwardly, like you're all having. It's a 5-foot diameter, I think.
Well, I can enlarge it if I need to.
True.
10... Nope, it's 3 feet in diameter.
3 feet in diameter.
Oh,
I will
can
enlarge
Kenko,
Okay,
can
it
Kenko
is
carry?
now.
maybe I don't know. Ask Tim, how many people can Kenko carry?
It's
If
large.
I'm on
It's a
him.
large. So it's technically a large creature. You would
skinny.
expect something of that size, like a giant eagle, to be able to carry. I think I originally said 3 of you.
So it's a good
Does he
thing
look-
that I double casted this disc.
You haven't yet. You haven't enlarged the disc yet, so don't mark that spell slot off.
I haven't.
Would
love
you
how-
like
cast
to?
it.
Would you like to? Whoop. Well, there still need to be. If there's 3 of you, there'll still be 2 left for the disc.
Well, the disc is there, but it's not enlarged.
The 2 of you could quite
Get
comfortably
Kenko.
stand face to face. As you,
Get Kenko the sickly eagle to carry.
Yeah.
us.
2 on the disc, 3 on the bed.
who's going on the bird? Hands up for bird.
Who's coming
I'll go on
with
the
me
bed.
on the sickly vulture bed?
So
I wanna
Aya,
pick Mike.
Aya, put your hand up as well. There you go.
I love my bed.
So you all attempt to climb up back of Kenko, whilst Pip and Chad awkwardly stand, I guess, face to navel.
No, I
Oh,
Wait, hurry.
Because there's only 3
But
foot
you're
in
above me.
diameter, so you have to either stand butt to butt or
No,
face to face.
definitely facing away from Chad. I'm not just
Okay.
staring at.
So
butt
are
to butt.
you butt to butt, or are you
Well, he's got.
I'm
It's not
facing-
butt to butt either, is
butt
it?
to knees, or I don't know what's
Yeah.
going
What he's doing, I don't care. I'm just facing away from him.
Or are you butt to butt with the tail curled around Pip? I don't know.
No, you're not touching
You
me.
do that in case you fall off.
I'm
tail
gonna,
like an arrow.
I'm gonna stand like this, and then Pip can get comfortable on floating
Okay.
disc however she needs to, and then I'll.
So your 2-inch social distancing on this,
Yes.
where you're just doing this, and there's
No
a
coughing
2-inch.
allowed.
You're hover spooning as it were, rather than hover
We're
handing.
one household in Chad's pad, so it's fine.
You mount Kenko, and it takes a running start to get off on the
No.
air, and just starts wheezing. It takes one, two, three flaps with its wings, and then just slides beak first along the snow, about 5 foot, just digging itself into the snow, and then its head, which is buried into a snowdrift, just turns to its left and just and just coughs. And you're
How
all
far did we
just
get?
about 15 feet.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm gonna tell it that it's okay. And I think he tried. So
You're not quite
probably
sure
fine.
it can hold the 3 people you thought it could. It
Okay,
might not be
um,
conditioned.
Hey, can
Might
you
have the
be a real
stamina.
eagle?
Yeah.
I'm just asking Power if he can be
I mean,
a real
one
life
or two of
functional
you
eagle.
could just abandon Kenko and just jump onto Chad's frisbee.
No, you all made up your minds. And Pip is barely even allowed on here. She was grouchy about being here with me, so you're all with your sleepy eagle.
Hey,
I mean,
I
I'm
can-
quite light.
I'm a sleepy lizard. It's fine.
Can I
Come on,
just
Jake.
expeditious retreat if I start running?
You can cast Expedition to
Done.
run.
Do that.
With Mike off of Kenko, it starts up again, takes some faltering steps, and then again 1, 2, 3 beats of its wings, and starts. It gets a little bit of lift, and you just hear this heavy wheezing, just like a kind of crackling in its lungs as it's taking off, and it
this
gets
is
all
gonna
of
be a
about
bird.
it gets all of about 10 feet off of the tundra, and it's just, if an eagle could sweat, it would be perspiring heavily, but it can't, which is a little bit cruel. But yeah,
Always
both
it is.
Mike and Aya, you are Titanicking, one grasping the other one's waist aboard this sickly eagle.
That's Potter.
Yeah, it's me and Peter.
Oh, sorry, Parter. Apologies. Parter and Aya, you are doing, as I said, Rosie and
This
The other
might be the
person from
saddest
Titanic.
defeat of one of your animals, of
Yeah,
one
it's
that
just a
sort of
slow
like,
death.
Rosie?
yeah, just sort of chokes itself to death trying to fly into a cave.
He just born sickly and
Yeah, it's-
gave up.
Your pets are getting significantly less badass.
It gets to the entrance of the cave where you directed it to go telepathically. No, not telepathically. Verbally. No, telepathically. You can.
Yeah.
You'll mount.
It's me, basically.
And instead of landing, because the incline is such a gradual incline, but an incline nonetheless, it just slowly hits the snowbank, just slides up, and then just lays spread eagled, if you will,
Hey.
and just goes and just turns its head to one side, and just, your knees have dragged into the snow at this point.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, and just lays there slowly wheezing.
Okay,
Cool.
you did really, really well.
As,
Did we get where we were supposed to get, though?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
you're now at
You
the
did
entrance. to
fantastic.
House of
Couldn't have
Sin.
asked for more.
No.
I feel like I'm going to have to carry it most of the time.
I feel like Costas would have eaten this eagle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Costas would have been all
For
over
some
it.
reason, when I imagine him as a baby bird. That's how it looks
Yeah,
like.
but
Head.
giant.
Which
Like,
is
like the
under
ones
a
that,
magnifying glass.
like when we saw it, chapter 2, and all
Yeah.
of the Chinese restaurant birds, like that, but giant.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Pretty much, yeah. But also, all of its feathers is like slightly burnt.
I wonder it didn't fly very well.
Yeah.
Did we get to where we wanted to be, or all of
Yep.
us there?
And then,
That's-
like a few seconds later, Chad's frisbee just shreds the snow like a arcane snowboard, sending like a big wall or a bank of like a very light snow drift, partially covering Kinko with snow as you like come to a stop.
No, hastily
Disrespectful.
take that off.
Yeah, it just kind of accepts it. Just lies there.
Oh.
Although the snow itself is just melting on top of it, like crackling and steaming. But you
You
now
might
have
like
a very
it, actually,
you have now a very
after-
wet bird.
We should go into the cavern.
No, we should corpse scavenge first, though.
Oh yeah, find the
Right.
goat.
Did I arrive? Have I run there yet?
Yep, you get there a second later, as you're like T1000ing / Legolassing across the snow. Yeah, you're very much doing like a Tom Cruise-esque run.
I
the
am
hill.
going to try and find the goat gun before Chad, so I'm going to manically search for it.
Why don't, in that case, Chad and Pip roll an investigation check?
I don't think so.
I will.
Oh, no.
Bear in mind, Chad, I think you still have inspiration if it's time that you wish to use inspiration.
I mean, I rolled a natural 1, which feels very fitting.
Yeah.
But also, I cannot believe that Pip would betray me like this after I just gave her a ride on my floating disc. So inspiration.
Okay.
And then I roll
Pip, what did you get?
and then I get a. Oh, fuck's sake.
What do you get, Pip?
I rolled a 17 and my investigation is +2.
So you got a 19. What did Chad?
Pip snapback allowed on my floating disc or my flight or any of my cool ideas ever again.
So as you take your frisbee, you like shred some snow. You hit that. I run out of snowboarding analogies immediately. It's like straight away. You skiff that tundra. You powder that white stuff. I don't know. Anyway, you come to a halt, but
That's a weird turn.
Pip kind of like hops off before it's completely stationary and starts rooting through the corpses. And you find the ram's head goat gun. And you pick it up, and then Chad, you park up, lower it down, and like a woo, down to the floor, and you hop off, and then you go to the first corpse, and they're all like heavily fucked up. It's very difficult to ascertain or to differentiate the corpses between one another. And as you're hiking through, you look up and you just see Pip standing there with the platinum goat's head repeating crossbow in her arm.
It's fine. It
I
takes a
think
while to
so.
learn how to use, but I just so everybody knows, I rolled a natural 1, and then I used my inspiration, and I rolled a 4.
Well, there you go. That's
Fine.
that's a lizard
hate
4.
Everything.
And we got revenge for the
I
sunflower.
used my inspiration to slap a guy, and all it did was I got burnt.
Yeah, that's true.
You look at
these-
your hand and it's still like somewhat necrotized.
Are these corpses, are these like dead, or are these zombies? Because didn't we see zombies?
You did animate zombies that went inside the stronghold.
But these are dead.
These ones are not moving.
Okay.
But the explosion happened after we saw the zombies go in.
Yes, like over an hour ago.
Mhm.
I think we should be going into the tunnel.
Yeah. Can I just do a quick
Definitely.
sneak of what if there's any like money or booze on the corpses?
Yeah.
Just quickly.
There's you find roll an investigation check.
Maybe not. 8.
8. You're looking through, and they're all like relatively like in good condition. They weren't withered like the other ones were. They're just dead. They're just corpses. Around their noses and around their mouths are like these green veins, and their lips have gone like a dark green as well, and around their snoot, and their eyes are like bloodshot red. Looks like they've just been crying, like they've been tear gassed almost. But checking through, you don't find any gold pouches, and you don't find any booze on them either. Although they are all armored and armed, so they have dwarven armor on them, size for a dwarf, and they have weapons on them as well. Like they're discarded into the snow, and they're like partially covered by the snowfall.
I can't take any more weapons. I'm holding too many.
We don't find like anything of particular interest.
We go inside.
Let's go inside.
What's the marching order, and how do you wish to go inside?
I'm gonna
Like,
limp Kenko
Noisily, averagely, stealthily.
I think stealthily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can everybody roll a stealth check for me, please?
I have disadvantage on stealth, just to warn everyone.
Yes, you do.
Oh, no, I roll good.
13.
13. What did
18.
18. Aya, what did you get?
11.
11.
Oh,
What did 12? And what did Mike? What did you get?
I got 6.
6.
Oh,
Wow.
Do I need to roll for Kenko? Sorry.
Yeah. If Kenko's coming in with you, absolutely.
Oh, we're not going to be
Yeah.
stealthy then, are we?
Can I? Yeah. Maybe I should stay behind.
Why is it?
Too late now. You made the noise.
No!
Oh, he's better than me. 14. He's
14,
got
okay.
better stealth than I do.
Yeah.
even though he's literally
Dexterous.
throwing up on the way.
Yeah, even though he's laying the trail of acid.
Aya, as you walk in, Kenko kind of just rests his avian head on your pauldron on the side of your shoulder, and just staggers in on his foot. Yeah, his entire avian head is like drooped over your your armor on the chest armor,
I really love my sick bed
Mm.
child.
and there's just that one kind of reddy pink eye just staring at you like from inches away. He feels quite hot. And like Pip, you slink in, sticking to the walls, like the pads of your fingertips and your feet adhere to the stone masonry. Chad, you just combat roll forward, making sure that your arm blades don't clink against the stone, and you just press your back up against the side of the wall as you approach a corner, and then you just briefly check around the corner with a snap of your snoot. Aya, you and Kenko move as one hybrid paladin and her ethereal mount, completely
That's
in
healthy.
sync and symbiote. Parter, vine-like almost, much like a druid yourself, you slink in, adhering to the cracks and natural orifices and rivulets that an underground cavern would afford. Almost like a stream, an underground stream, do you slip and slide into this underground. Mike, you just rock up, chewing loudly on a piece of dried bread and going, "What the fuck are you all doing? Are we in yet? Where are we going?" And just clumping heavily in your boots, like your pots and pans in your bag just rattling around. Even your blinks are audible echo down the chamber. That's when you all hear from around the corner,
Shit.
and we'll end the episode there. So I'd like to thank my players, Ellie, Josh, Annie, Khalil, and Alice. If you'd like to plug your social media, now's an amazing time to do so.
At Ellie Bav.
MCM Josh.
At Annie_squirrel.
At What We Do in the Shadows.
Nice. Nice.
Please
At
sponsor.
ALUCYE.
And I'm at MCM_Tim. Remember, if you don't know what to do, stay home, stay safe. See you later.
Say that. Watch
Bye
out.
bye.
Wash those hands.